Daniella's story is taken front and center in episode 5. What's good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another Sistas video. And in this one, we're talking about Miss Daniella King and her journey in therapy. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications so you don't miss out on any of my sisters' content and conversations. And without further ado, let's go ahead and read the synopsis for episode 5, titled Hanging in the Balance. Danni is apprehensive about returning to counseling until she reveals past trauma that could be the reason for her present choices. And listen, I know that first episode was a little bit shaky. I am recording this after we have watched the premiere, but season 2 has yet to premiere, so I am well in advance of episode 5, and these are going to be my thoughts around what we see in the synopsis. I am excited. I'm excited for us to be at this place. I'm excited for another character to be going to therapy and not just going for the one visit and never going back and us never really hearing about it again. Tech. But we're actually getting to watch Danni struggle with not only the decision to go to therapy and be presented with the decision, and then her actually communicate her limiting beliefs and her lack mindset and her impoverished mindset, in all honesty, in that she felt like therapy equals you're crazy. So you're basically calling me crazy. So we got to see that play out in the first episode. Somewhere between episodes 1 and 4, she's actually going to go to therapy, so that by episode 5 she's reluctant to go back. And I think that that's a very real thing. The thing about therapy is, yes, it is an amazing thing. It could be a miracle worker for trauma and things that you have experienced in your life to free you or provide you with the resources to help you free yourself from the trappings of your past, of mistakes, of hurt, of trauma, of so many things. However, getting into therapy and finding a healthy therapy practice in and of itself is a process. It's not an easy one. Many people don't actually love their first therapist, and it's not that you have to love your therapist, but you have to be aligned. That person has to understand you, has to be able to empathize. And when I say understand, that person has to be able to speak your language, or at least learn your language, so that they are able to speak your language in order to help you. I think back to a more recent experience that I had in therapy, and I started therapy back in my 20s, and I am so grateful for it. I think I was like 21, 22 when I first went to therapy, and that was all about me really attacking my parental issues, my mommy issues, my daddy issues. And I didn't realize it at the time because I didn't go there for that. I went there for anger and certain things, and what was unearthed was me struggling with my relationships and how my parents showed up in my life, and how certain things weren't done for me, and I feel like that slighted me, or I felt like that put me back in life, and I was literally running through toxic cycles, and it's basically some things were passed down to me by way of my parents. So anyway, I went to therapy in my 20s, and I dealt with that, and it really helped me better shape and grab a different perspective of my parents. In therapy, I learned that my parents are not gods. They are humans just like me. And of course, that's something that you would know when I say it out loud, but a lot of times we operate as if our parents are way up here, and it's like, no, the older you get, the more like your peer they actually are, and they make mistakes, and they have feelings, and they get jealous, and they get angry, and they get sad, and they get hopeful. They do all of the same things that you do. So we can't even pedestalize our parents in reference to having expectations and things like that. And that's something that came up for me in therapy my first go round. My most recent time was during 2020 and COVID, and a lot is going on, of course. So the George Floyd stuff is popping off in June. COVID is ravaging us. Our industry, so I'm in film and television, completely shut down, and I'm like trying to hang on and trying to pivot and maintain my clients and just do certain things, but still push my career forward. I haven't fully broken in yet. Like, a lot of things are going on. Romances ain't romancing. I talked to a couple guys that say it, and I'm like, I need to talk to somebody. And I go to my health insurance, and they tell me that I have to basically apply for a therapist. And then once I do the application process, they tell me I have to do triage. And then I get on the phone. The triage is somebody talking to me, and they ask you a bunch of questions. And you know what this person told me, y'all? This person told me that I don't need therapy because I'm a high functioning individual and I will figure it out. So y'all don't want to give me a therapist because I'm not ready to just like off myself right now. But I'm coming to you saying that I need help. I'm overworked. I'm stressed. I need to figure out how to better process my life, my experience, how I'm feeling about all of these things. But because I can articulate that, you believe that I don't actually need to talk to somebody about it and I can continue to talk to myself. What? Needless to say, I acted a fool, got the therapist. But then the therapist that I was given, was a Latina lady. She was very nice. However, she was not right for me. She didn't understand the plight of a dark-skinned Black woman working in film and entertainment. And I get that that's not something that everybody's going to know. However, that's a very specific thing to my lived experience and to what's shaping the things that I'm going through in my perspective. So there's certain cultural deficiencies that she had and didn't necessarily understand. And in a lot of ways, I felt like I was a little bit further along than her in being able to articulate and talk through different things. So I gave you that example, y'all, to talk about specifically your first therapist, your second therapist, your third, all the way up to your 20th therapist might not actually be the one. It takes time to find the right one. But once you do, it can be masterful. So I'm excited to see that we have an episode with the synopsis that's solely focused on Danni because she's the only one mentioned in the synopsis. And it's talking about her being nervous to go back. I'm assuming that her first experience was very off-putting. She didn't like how vulnerable she was being required to be. She probably didn't like that whatever the therapist said probably coaxed her into a place of revealing something that she didn't think that she was ever going to reveal, because they are very crafty in how they create a safe space for you. And the next thing you know, you pouring out some things that you had never uttered out loud before, you had only thought. And then you try to quickly shove that back in. It's like, no, it's already out there. So let's deal with it. And it could be an unsettling thing. It could be a very, very scary thing, but it's such a powerful thing to choose to go to therapy and to choose to continue to go to therapy. And I'm hoping that that's what we're about to see play out with the Daniella character of like, okay, she's apprehensive about it. She might be snarky about it. She might be trying to run from it because she's been running from these past traumas, like I have said in so many videos. However, just showing up is her work that she needs to do. And then as she shows up, the work that gets added on is the unpacking of that. I love that we're going to get to see a little bit more into her past, because these past traumas that are going to be revealed that makes her consider what her present choices being tied to that. I don't necessarily think it's like Jonah or the most recent things that we've seen. I think that they're going to take us back to college and how that hasn't informed it, or even maybe back to her rearing years. So maybe, middle school and high school and some of the things that happened to her, even set that laying down the foundation for what happened to her in college and how she was able to, navigate through that, because we know that she experienced bullying and she experienced sexual assault and certain things in college. And, some things like that get at least the foundation for you to be in a circumstance like that, and you don't actually, hold the people accountable. That could be something that could be from her childhood. And then now she has learned as a child to just run from when she feels unsafe, or run when she feels hurt. So the thing happens and she tries to ignore it and run from it to act like it never happened. And then that is maybe was a coping mechanism that she learned in childhood and carried on through, all the way up through her 30s. Anyway, and that's what it seems like to me. I'm really, really excited for it. Y'all, I have been just such a big advocate for sisters going deeper, for sisters taking these 4 girls through the trenches, and not just in a drama for drama's sake and oh my gosh, shock value. But when I say the trenches, it's like the nuance and the specifics of the feelings, the thoughts, the behaviors that result from some of the things that they're experiencing. And for Danni, she's experienced physical harm. She's experienced emotional and mental harm. And there are, residuals of that. That stuff stays with you. It doesn't matter if you're the comedian of the group and you always cracking jokes and then you also claim to be so damn honest, but all of your skeletons stay in the closet and they're hurting you. Like they're whooping your ass inside and you ain't revealing it because you laughing on the outside and pointing fingers at everybody else. But inside your ass is getting whooped. And at some point that stuff is going to come out. And I love that the writers are giving us that. Love, love, love it. All right, so I do have the synopsis as well as all of the other synopses that are currently available. Synopses that are currently available on ericavane.com. As always, the link is in the description box down below so that you can check that out. If you want to read it for yourself, let me know what you think about episode 5. Are you looking forward to it? Have you been to therapy? Whatever you would love to share, whatever's on your heart, put it in the comment section down below. I appreciate you keeping that conversation going with me in the comment section. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and give this video a like because you made it all the way to the end and I think that you liked it. And YouTube thinks that you would like this video. So go ahead and click this one and let's keep watching some Erica Vane TV.